up, Taiwan? I'm Yvonne Yang with news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Saturday saw rallies across Taiwan both for and against upcoming recall votes. 24 opposition lawmakers now face a vote on their political future, one that could tip the balance in Taiwan's legislature. Rally organizers urge the public to get to their polling stations next month to make their voices heard. Cadence Coranta reports.
On the streets of Hualien in eastern Taiwan, a rally urging voters to oust opposition Kuomintang caucus whip Fu Kun-chi from office. His fate now set to be decided by public vote next month. He's just one of at least 24 KMT lawmakers who will face recall votes on July 26th.
726记得要买火车票，或者是开车回到花莲，投下你手上的同意罢免票。拜托，请记得726一定要回来投票。尤其我们知道傅昆萁在过去的1年多以来，不断的亲中投共，甚至于企图在国会要出卖整个台湾。这是我们这一次站出来要罢免他。
This rally comes one day after Taiwan's Central Election Commission officially set a date for the recall votes. It follows months of campaigns on both sides of the political spectrum to recall lawmakers from both the Kuomintang and the ruling Democratic Progressive Party. Each of the recall petitions needed to gain enough signatures before being greenlit for a public vote. While almost all petitions targeting DPP lawmakers have failed, 24 of those against KMT lawmakers have advanced to the voting stage, with more still gathering signatures or pending review. On the same day, KMT officials held a large rally of their own in Taipei, urging people to get out and vote against the recalls.
民进党一党独大，这就是他们只关心的，所以让所有的民众知道，唯有7月26号站出来，7月26号站出来，大家都来投票，投什么？ 不同意，投不同意罢免，要5个字，不同意罢免。
Upcoming votes put at risk almost half of the KMT's seats in the country's legislature, where its coalition with the smaller Taiwan People's Party gives the opposition a slight majority. If a lawmaker is recalled, another vote will be held to determine who takes their place. So it's a high-stakes fight for those on both sides of the aisle in Taiwan, taking to the streets to urge the public to get out and vote. The fates of a growing number of lawmakers now in their hands. Alex Chen and Cadence Coranta for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwanese chip giant TSMC's operations in China might become subject to the same U.S. export controls as Chinese companies. That's if the current trade truce between the U.S. and China fails to hold. Reuters reports that the U.S. Commerce Department is preparing such a step. It would also apply to Chinese facilities of Korean chip and memory manufacturers Samsung and SK Hynix. The controls block export of any chip-making gear with U.S. technology to China, though they have previously exempted the Taiwanese and Korean giants. Sources in the Commerce Department say those exemptions would only be removed if Washington and Beijing fail to reach a deal. Rescue crews across Israel are assessing the damage of a new wave of Iranian missile attacks in the country. It comes just hours after U.S. President Donald Trump said he ordered airstrikes on 3 nuclear facilities in Iran.
Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu thanked Trump for the strikes, saying they will change history. Iran's nuclear agency says there is currently no danger to those living near the bombed nuclear sites. The country says it will not halt its nuclear development. The U.S. strikes come more than a week after Israel began attacking Iran. In response, Iran has launched missile and drone strikes against Israel. The fighting has killed over 400 people and injured thousands. Coast Guard personnel from Japan, the U.S., and the Philippines have held their second ever joint exercises near Japan's south. The drills come after the three countries pledged to increase cooperation last year as they face an expansion of Chinese military activity in the region. Earlier this month, two Chinese aircraft carriers operated together in the Pacific for the first time, raising security concerns in Japan. This year, Taiwan took its first step to reach the moon. Students at National Central University designed a radiation probe to collect data from deep space. And in January, the probe traveled as payload aboard Japanese lunar lander Resilience. The landing in early June was not successful, but it marked a significant milestone in Taiwan's space ambitions. The project was coordinated by Taiwanese firm HelioX Cosmos. Reporter Joyce Zhen spoke to the company's CEO Bill Chang about how it all came together.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you were involved in this National Central University collaboration with iSpace? Where did that all start?
First time I got the offer from iSpace and my collaborator in Japan, it's called Space BD. Actually, Space BD and iSpace were collaborating each other for looking for potential customers to take a ride on Mission 2, which is the currently mission. And actually, I got the offer from 2020, the day right before the Christmas. So it's more like a Christmas gift or something.
Right, very nice.
And since then, I tried to talk every organizations and every, even the TASA, but NSPL back then. And we talked a lot, and I was almost, giving up on finding the customer to take ride on Mission 2.
Why is that? Can you share a little bit about what was the specific maybe criteria that iSpace had given you and that you were communicating with these stakeholders?
The problem is that in 2021, the first part of the 2021, no one were thinking about going to the moon. And I believe that our national policy is to develop communication and more remote sensing satellites. Right. So landing on the moon or orbiting the moon is not on the roadmap or something like that. But you have the chance to go to the moon, and it has to be happening right now. So I was so eager to find someone to go to the moon and to represent Taiwan to go to the moon. And thankfully, Lauren Chang from National Central University accepted my proposal. So we started to work on the payload and the collaboration with iSpace.
We'll get into the DSRP in a bit, but I wanted to first ask, what does it mean for a school, National Central University, to be the kind of winning customer in your search, but also to represent Taiwan?
I think this, the meaning of going to the moon is getting, important recently because United States and India, even China, and even Russia, they're going to the moon and trying to find things there. The National Central University wants to improve their technology, and they would like to be the first to go to the deep space and to understand the real environment there. So, and also extract some important data and the factors or radiation factors or values from moon, and that will improve Taiwan's technology and resilience of the equipment to go to deep space, because currently no Taiwanese satellite go deeper or higher than 2,000 kilometers.
Right, has not left low Earth orbit, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
And can you give us a brief history of Taiwan's, space exploration, just more generally? You mentioned a little bit before why maybe stakeholders weren't thinking about going for the moon, but was it simply because it just was not on the radar, or were there any other factors?
For a space agency, that they have to secure the budget first, and they have to develop the whole technology and decide which equipment to go to the moon. and they have to go through a lot of jury and things like that. And they have to convince the higher administration to allow them to do that, rather than developing the B5G satellite or something like that, right? So actually it was a kind of challenge, and also the budget. But so the problem is whether you will go there now or you just let go of the opportunity.
And can you talk a little bit about the technological aspect? Budget, one huge limiting factor, but technology, you also have to be at a certain standard.
Yeah, actually, for lower orbit, we have certain knowledge of strengthening the equipment or the facility to be more resistant. But deeper space, that would be very hard, and that would be more like Taiwan wants to get the first-hand information from the moon, but no one has done that before. So I think that's the problem, because the radiation on the moon is more than 100, 200 times, or even 300 times stronger than on Earth. Wow. So your equipment must be very radiation resistant and very reliable. So I think that's the problem, that no one has committed me on this mission, and they were to say that they were pretty sure about going to space to the moon within 2 years. So
takes guts.
Yes.
That was HelioX Cosmos CEO Bill Chang. You can watch the full interview with him on Zoom In, Zoom Out by visiting TaiwanPlus.com or our YouTube channel. Taiwan's space agency TSA says the first domestic rocket launch could come as soon as the end of this year. The 7-meter sounding rocket will take off from TSA's new launch site in Pingtung County. It will be used to test individual components at a low altitude. Bigger missions are on the way. TSA plans suborbital flight tests in the next several years, aiming to launch a satellite into orbit by 2034. Officials say the long-term goal is to build a full space supply chain that can expand into global markets. In the waters off Penghu, Taiwan is facing a silent invader, starfish, which are threatening the local coral. The government is responding quickly to this spiky situation. Chelsea Wu has the story.
With its vibrant coral reefs, the outlying islands of Penghu are a favorite destination for divers from around the world. But these divers aren't sightseeing. They're on a mission, searching for a spiky predator that's invading Penghu's waters. The poisonous crown of thorns starfish, also known as the coral killer, preys on hard, stony coral, like the ones in Penghu's waters. Taiwan reported its first large-scale outbreak of the starfish in 2010 and has been closely monitoring them ever since. Marine protection volunteers noticed a resurgence this month in the Chimay area. In response, the government organized a volunteer dive team to carry out a spiky operation, manually removing the invasive species.
只要有人有通报这个籍贯海星的问题，基本上我们就是启动开始做调查。所以七美的这个当时我们收到通报之后，其实在调查的时候知道它已经的密度有到一个接近警戒值，所以我们就启动一个专案开始做籍贯海星的清除。
The government aims to develop long-term prevention strategies and a regional response system to protect Taiwan's marine ecosystems. With continued monitoring and swift responses, Taiwan hopes to stay one step ahead of the spiky invader and preserve the vibrant reefs that make Penghu a marine treasure. Liang Lian and Chelsea Wu for TaiwanPlus.
Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. You can visit the TaiwanPlus website or follow us on social media for more of our stories. Finally, check out International Yoga Day celebrations across India. I'm Yvonne Yang. Take care, and I'll see you next time.